Hey guys, it's Brad, and tonight I wanted to address a question that I was asked a few times back when I did a Q&A on my other channel. I was asked by a lot of people, what's your social life like in your 30s when you're single, as far as like friendships, when everyone else your age is getting married and having kids, and how do you make new friends as an adult? And these are questions that I don't have answers to. But I thought maybe tonight I would just talk a little bit about like my friendships and my history of friendships. And I was going to kind of do this video and also tell you the story of Adam, the guy that I dated after my divorce before Nick, because that time in my life sort of sets some ground for the next story that I want to tell you about a guy, but it also had some interesting like friendships and whatnot going on. But then I rewatched the second video I ever posted on this channel, the brief history of, or not so brief history of my marriage and divorce, and I realized I actually talked quite a bit about Adam already, and there's not really much else to say. I mean, my sister set me up with him at a bar, and we dated for 3 years, and the first year that we were together was pretty good. The second 2 were very strained, but Adam and I stayed together, or we got back together a lot because of our friend group, because we had the same friend group, and we just, every time we would break up, it was very difficult to figure out who was going to hang out with those people, and when we finally did break up, that was kind of the end of that friend group too. So let me just kind of go back a little ways and just talk about friends. And I've also said this before on my channel, I've always been the kind of person that's had more like a few close friends rather than like tons of friends. That hasn't always been how I've wanted it, but that's just, I think, the kind of person that I am. I'm kind of introverted. I've never been naturally social. I kind of like was a very shy kid and had to like learn to be social. I still find in my career that it's not something that just comes naturally. It's something that I've just like learned to do, I guess. I don't know if I'm making any sense. This video is not pre-scripted. So many of my videos, I like walk through them and I have like an outline and I know what I'm gonna say. And tonight I just got on here and started filming. So I apologize if this seems all over the place. But I explained that when I was married, my ex-husband and I did not have like a lot of friends. We did not go out a lot at all, like not very often. I had this one friend from high school who was married and we would go out with them sometimes. And then I had this one friend from work who was married and we would go out with them sometimes. But it was never on the fly. It was always like pre-planned and almost seemed a little formal, We never just like went out on Friday night at the spur of the moment or anything like that. And then he had some friends from work that I didn't really click with too well. And every once in a while we'd do things with those people too, but we were not very social. So when my divorce started happening, or I got separated, I started hanging out back in my old hometown with people that I knew from high school, and they were not good people. Just in that all the guys that we were hanging around with were like cheaters. They were only after one thing, and I had some weird experiences there, just finding out about like people not really being your friend. Like, I dated this guy and, well, he cheated on me, and then when I found out about it, I got mad at him and got in a big fight, and my friend, who had been my friend since high school, got mad at me because I ruined the friend group. I should have just like been okay with the guy cheating on me so we could all hang out. She was just really upset that like we can't all hang out anymore. And then she kept hanging out with those guys. And I was just, she was never a great friend. Like, she always seemed a little, I don't know, sketchy. But her and this other girl, they were just very two-faced, not great people. And I finally just dropped that crowd, and then I started hanging out with my sister mainly, who was 2 years younger than me, and I had never really hung out with my sister socially before I got divorced and moved back to my hometown. But then I started hanging out with her all the time, and because she was a couple years younger, she hung out with people that were even younger than her. I sort of fell into this peer group with people that were a few years younger. I would have been, let's see, I got separated when I was 27, and then probably all the way through like 30, 31, we were still like hanging out with all these people that were like more like 25-ish, younger. And that was okay because I was going through this thing where I felt like I grew up too fast and then I had to go back and like be 21 again when I was 27. I think that's why now at 35, I feel like I could believe that I was 30, but 35 seems crazy. I think it's because like I've lived a lot of my life about 5 years younger than I actually was, or gone through a lot of experiences that most people would have gone through like 5 years before I did. I don't know. But my sister started dating this guy, and he had a roommate, and those guys always just hung out at this really, really, really crappy dive bar that I think I've talked about before on this channel called the Rue Marché, and it was karaoke, and it was cheap, but it was dirty, and it was gross. But we started hanging out there, and then I met Adam, and we all became one big friend group, and we just met these other people who would hang out at that bar too. And they had this rooftop apartment within walking distance from that bar. And these people were all a little younger as well. And we had some great nights there. We had some epic nights where we danced and we sang karaoke and we drank and then we went to the roof and it was so amazing. We had a handful of those. And then we had so many really bad nights where people were crying and someone's puking out back and, people are fighting in the bathroom and they were just bad nights. I mean, there were more bad nights than like really awesome nights. But the thing is, I'm glad I went through that because I feel like that's out of my system now. And it makes sense. I totally get why people tell you, do all that when you're young. Don't get married really young like I did because you'll feel like you missed out on something. Whereas if you do everything in the right order, you will have that. It'll be in your past. You'll remember it somewhat fondly, somewhat not. You'll learn from it, whatever. And then when you do get to be 30, you'll be ready to like settle down and get married and all that stuff. But I did everything backwards. And what's crazy to me now, this is the craziest thing, is that all those people that I was hanging out with back then, they were like, just party people, drank a lot. Some of them did harder things than that. And now they're all married with kids. It's bananas. Sometimes it's a little scary to think about those people being responsible for little people because I only just know them as like these crazy party people and like, yeah, but no, seriously, almost every last one of them is now married with kids. They all did it in the right order. They partied hard and then they settled down and now they're raising families. And I'm here like, okay, well, I already did the marriage thing and the divorce thing, and I did the party thing, and now I'm done with that too. But what now? So my sister, she's still, she doesn't have any kids either, but I don't really hang out with her too much anymore. She sort of has her own friends. She still likes to do young people stuff. She still likes to go out to the clubs with the and the shots and the young guys hitting on her and I cannot go to those douchebag bars anymore. I am way too old for that. I am just over it. I don't know how she at 33 is still going to those places and doing that. I hate it. I'm just done with it. And I feel really old when I try to like go hang with her too. Like it just feels wrong. I like to go out still. I like to go out with my friends and do like 35-year-old people stuff. Like go to breweries and have good conversation or go to cocktail bars and stuff. I do not want to go to I can't. So it's kind of like I'm not really friends with any of those people anymore. Facebook friends, that's it, I still have some friends from high school, not those girls that, ugh. But like I have some guy friends from high school that I still talk to, but they're like married with kids too. They live other places. And my friend that I made from work, we stayed friends even after we stopped working together until she moved to St. Louis. And then like we kind of are still friends. I went down there and saw her a couple times, but I haven't in years now. And I have another friend from like grade school that I will hang out with every once in a while, but it kind of feels like she never hits me up. I always hit her up, and I think she has like better friends than me. I've got another friend from high school that lives in town that sometimes, again, like sometimes I have a couple like every once in a while I'll hang out with them type of friends, but really my best friend now is my friend Cassie, who I've been friends with since kindergarten, and I hang out with her and her husband, their friend Brendan, which I talked about in my last video. That's like my main social group, but my social group is just getting smaller and smaller and smaller. But that's okay, because I would rather at this point surround myself with like good people than crappy people. I mean, not back when I was doing that party bar scene thing, those people were my friends, but they were not trustworthy, really good, confide in them type of friends. They were bar friends, they were party friends, and there was something very flattering about them wanting you there. And when you walk in the bar, and it was my Cheers, it was my everybody knows your name type of bar, and there was something that felt good about that everybody wanted you there and all of that. But if I was sad, if I was going through something, could I have like really talked to those people? No, and now I just have a few good friends, but I like to go out a lot. I like to have a social life, and that is the hard part about being single, because, when I was with Josh, I had someone to like do things with and go out with when he didn't have the kids. And, when you're dating, you have that, but I don't have that right now, and I don't want to start dating just for that, because that's the wrong reason. I don't want to go on Match.com and start going on dates just to have something to do. That doesn't seem right. I gotta be ready to want to date. A lot of you guys have been telling me that I should. You've been commenting on my breakup videos, like, you need to get back out there, you need to date. And the thing is, I wouldn't want to date someone who was me right now. Like, I wouldn't want to date someone and then find out that they just got rid of their ex. Like, I wouldn't want to do that. So I don't feel like I should really do that either, but it is like, I am getting like real antsy, like real cooped up. I need more social life, but it is weird. It is weird in your 30s. Like, I work with a lot of younger people now, but I also work an hour away. And so, there's some cool people that I work with, but they're coworker friends. And so the peer group is small, but anyway, I just thought I would talk a little bit about that because of the fact that I got asked about that so much when I did my Q&A. And now I really don't feel like I need to tell the story of Adam again. I think we're kind of all caught up back to where my Boys of Summer video left off, so I can kind of launch into that next story that I have for you, because that will reference some of that time that I was hanging out at the Roo and at those rooftop parties a little bit too. So I'll be back later, but thanks for watching. Hey, this video was like not extremely crazy long. That's a first for this channel, but thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Who's my best friend? Who is my best friend? Kisses.